Hello, my name is Lou,
I'm Katie.
and you're listening to Files from the Other Side. This week, we're opening up the files on.
Dragons and unicorns.
I wanted to say this funny. I don't know why I got the hair up my butt to say it funny, but
I loved it. I had so much fun on that ride. I was like, yeah, we're getting into it.
I am a podcast host. I must act
Yeah.
like it, you know what I mean?
You gotta switch it up every once in a while, keeping people on their toes.
Plus, I have been told that I have a really good voice. I grew it myself, thank you, but people, well, I remember Soph in college one time, after I had woken up, I don't know, I must have gotten dressed, and she was like, by the way, your voice in the morning is so sexy. And I was like, thank you.
No.
Thank
You know, you do have a good podcasting voice. You have a great voice, period. But I especially love listening back to our episodes, and you sound. I just did chef's kiss. If you can't see the video.
One of my biggest dreams is if I could learn to train my voice to sing. I would love that because I think I would have a really good rock star voice.
Yeah.
I think my rock star voice would be so good, but I'm not trained, so I don't sound great.
I love to sing. That was all I wanted to be for forever, was a singer. But I would
too.
also hate to be famous. That would.
Oh, I would do it for the
suck.
arts and crafts of it all. I would do it for the
Yeah.
drag.
Yeah, fun. I mean, yeah, just because you can sing doesn't mean you necessarily will be famous. So that's a thing. You could just. I have stage fright. Here's what it is. Here's the thing. A, would hate to be famous, and B, I have stage fright.
I am unhinged sometimes, and that helps on stage. If you have a little bit of reckless energy,
Yeah.
it's just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so you would think that I'd be into it because of the fear.
Yeah.
Should I admit this, that I'm often turned on by things that I'm afraid of? Also.
Oh, but we're paranormal investigators, baby. Why else would we be doing this?
Right?
Called out. Hey, paranormal investigators, is your kink scaring the living shit out of yourself? Because if so, I know a girl.
I literally, there's so many times where I'm like, I want to see something, but I also don't, but I do, but I don't, but I do, but I don't. So.
That's hilarious. So what do you got for dragons? How do dragons scare the shit out of you then?
I mean, okay, so here's the fun thing about me. I am actually I like snakes. I like snakes and reptiles, actually. So I remember Ames one time was like, you are lying to my face. And I was like, if a snake was suddenly in the room, I would scream. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Of course, I would freak out. But I love the reptile room in zoos. I think they're fascinating and weird and creepy. And there was a bunch of geckos on my family trip that we went on. And I was always like, gecko. I think that they're cute. I don't know what it is. They're so cute. And a dragon.
I just wanted you to know that's what's happening.
Oh, wait.
Kitten things are happening. The other one got loose too, so I'm gonna have to fix this really quick. They escaped my trap, so I said a better one, but I'm not confident. I might just have to have them loose. And Fiona's babysitting, I guess.
Dragons. Before the kitten attack. Look at the kittens. They were so cute. Okay, sorry.
I am hysterical this morning. What the fuck?
Welcome to an AM edition of Files from the Other Side.
Yeah, have we ever recorded in the morning?
No, this is our first time. I haven't had my first cup of coffee. Dragons have been around forever because reptiles happen, right? So, ancient Mesopotamian art and literature depicts dragons. There is a goddess, Tiamat. She's a primordial goddess of the ocean, and she's often retconned to be a dragon serpent type.
I think I've heard of her.
I think she's just the ocean though, because I was reading up on her story a little bit, and they were talking about how she was getting wind from another god, and it was creating waves and stuff, and she was annoyed by it. She was like, you're disturbing my peace. And so I'm like, she's just the ocean. She is the salt. Anyways, There a lot of sea serpent associations. That's what a lot of people call them, dragons. They're good and bad. Like, it kind of goes in and out. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. In China, they're good for the good luck. No wings in China. The wings and the scales. I mean, every dragons have scales. The wings are like, and the spiked tails are an English thing. I think the fire breathing is also an English thing.
Mm-hmm.
They fly in China, but they don't have wings, and they're associated with like air elements. Although some of them live in the ocean, according to Journey to the West. It's not until Christianity comes around and the associations with the serpent and Satan
Yeah.
that we start seeing you like ubiquitously like dragons are bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
again,
that's
that
kind of
doesn't.
like how a lot of mythology, like, like what happened to mythology because of the Bible and the people who wrote about the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we get different associations with different mythical because you'll see in unicorns get a Christ association.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a couple of ways that that works. So what else? It's just like interesting. Everyone's got like different. Oh, dragon's blood is associated with healing properties and medicinal properties, like having magical healing powers. Dragon's teeth are associated with like with being, a great warrior. Like if you had dragon's teeth,
Hmm.
you were able to slay dragons and stuff. Oh, this is what I was trying to lead up to. So they were often confused. People would find dinosaur fossils and assume that they were dragon bones. So totally believed to have been existing for before our times or during our times that we couldn't see them. There is a town in Austria that like found, I forget what exactly type of dinosaur skull that they found, but they like found a dinosaur skull and like this is a dragon, and they kept it
That's so
like
cool.
on display.
Like hilariously cool. Like that's yeah.
uh
I imagine that when if you, because I actually I think I read something about like how archaeology is so stupid sometimes because it's like a new way of like digging up things isn't what we ever really did to study history. Like I think a lot of the time things that were unearthed were just unearthed and like people found things. But like
yeah.
archaeology was like white man's way to be like, I know how civilization came to be and it's going to be according to my story. Like
Yeah.
and I think like what's interesting is like when we do consider like the I just think that's so cool, the comparison between dragons and dinosaurs, because that would make so much sense. Like even if you found something like super mysterious, like I don't know, just like different things around the bones too, that would be interesting. Just like, but I really go back to this part about it being unearthed because the whole story about dinosaurs to me is like kind of a mythos modernly, like a modern mythos. Like here I'll stretch it because I like dinosaurs because they to me are like early the like very early forms of life, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that there are spiritual magical qualities to what's left over of them, because I think that like upon archaeological discovery we are very lucky to have access to that era and knowledge about them, like something that we
Yeah, for
wouldn't have
sure.
like the what I think is cooler than the stretchy part is like then when we retell stories about what we're finding archaeologically, we get to make up a new mythos, right? It's like the land before time, like that little tidbit of,
I
you know what I
absolutely
mean?
thought of that.
Like because I'm thinking I'm like it's not like there's like so many ancient pictures of dinosaurs. Sure, maybe like early mammals or like late mammals maybe. I'm thinking of like the saber-toothed tiger and the woolly mammoth, right? Like humans had interactions with those kinds of animals, right? But those earlier forms of life. God, that's so fascinating. I'm gonna be on like a rabbit hole about this later.
Oh yeah.
Like what I was finding about dragons was rudimentary. Like,
No.
and I think it's maybe what you said earlier was that they're just so cross cultural. Like they're just so pervasively everywhere.
Forever too. For like so long.
Yeah.
Well, because they're based on like reptiles. Like, I mean, there are large, giant lizards that we call Komodo. Like, those are Komodo dragons. Like, we call them
Dragons. Yeah.
dragons. Like, they're not technically the like mythical dragon that we think of, which don't even always have wings.
Yeah.
We think of that because we're Western, you know?
Yeah. That's so interesting to me. Like the stuff I looked into was like Chinese dragons, and it was okay. So here's what I'm not even gonna tell you about Chinese dragons. I'm not, because I don't want to. Here's the thing. The sources were so lacking on this. Like ultimately, dragons are so interwoven in Chinese culture that there's so much that could be said, but Western sources don't have congruence. Like I looked up I think like 20 pages, like web pages today,
Yeah.
and every single one of them like differed in topic. So it's like when I looked up the Chinese dragons, it's like everybody had a thing to say about a type of dragon, but they were never really the same dragon. And I was like,
Yeah.
like I get that like they have a certain number of them. Like there's like one in the Chinese zodiac, right? But then like there's a grouping of 4 of them, and I think another grouping of 9 of them. But like when I was looking up all these Western sources again, like none of them were congruent in my opinion.
No.
Because then how they would go on to like qualify dragon mythology didn't. It seemed like they randomly picked something off of the Wikipedia page to talk about, like each of these different and I was like, okay, so you guys aren't actually getting primary sources to talk about dragons. Like it's just the Wikipedia. It's like these they're sourcing stupid things. I think there are like too much in Chinese culture to talk about dragons.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's just to say that like I would be doing no justice to the conversation by mentioning it, because like what I was trying to do this morning was look into how dragons related to the I Ching.
Tai Ching.
The I Ching or the I Ching. You don't know what that is? It's okay. I thought you would. It is a Chinese divinatory text, and how you use it is you're like supposed to like arrange hexagrams, and numbers mean a lot in this system. And like it's about kind of like randomness and synchronicity too, which are again Western interpretations. But I thought like a while ago I had read the I Ching in my audiobook, and it was saying something about dragons. And I was like, oh, let me look into this, and then nothing. It was like nothing. Like I think some of the hexagrams have dragon connotations.
Sure.
But there's no like explicit like this is why dragon shows up in the I Ching or the I Ching. Yeah. So I felt like I couldn't find helpful information about what I like the kind of quality of information I was trying to like get at there, which was disappointing. But I guess not for me today, and that's okay.
We'll find something. We'll find something someday.
Well, actually, fun fact. I don't know if I should say this on the podcast. I'm going to tell you. Listeners, I'm writing a novel, and I've been really like doing actually pretty great at it. I have I think like 17,000 words or something, probably more than that now.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. However, dragons will be a portion of the novel that I didn't think was going to be present, but I'm so excited. So I get to play with that.
Yeah. You get to create your own mythos around dragons. Because, like, guess what? They're made up. Like, it's not real. So you can make whatever you want up.
And I'm excited with dragons, especially, like, just based on, like, how like, I'm gonna have to go to the library and get a book about it if I really want to write true to the tradition of Chinese culture.
Yeah.
But like, a lot of what I write in this novel is very accurate. It's like fictionally accurate, however that makes sense to you. But this dragon thing, I think I'm gonna let it go a little more crazy style. Yeah.
I would. I would.
Yeah,
But
maybe something like silly, like something like somebody is like they're not gonna expect it. Y'all won't expect it when you read it. Do you have anything else to say about dragons? I feel like we disappointed the audience on this one, but it's okay.
don't say that.
Okay, I said what I said. I just mean I said what I said in terms of the information I had about Chinese dragons. Sorry.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of, like the four dragons, and like I think that those are the associations with the directions of the wind. I think that that's.
Yeah, I wrote
That's the only
cardinal
thing I got.
directions.
Cardinal, yep. There you go. And again, that's only from watching overly sarcastic summaries of The Journey to the West. Watch those. Or go read that. Classical Chinese literature is the shit, actually. So funny. Legitimately hilarious. Okay.
Unicorns, baby.
I was gonna say, so also unicorns show up in Mesopotamian art. Both of these things have been around for fucking ever. Forever and ever and ever. Earliest, so the Indus Valley civilization uses unicorns, and they're like stamped in reliefs around like 2000 BCE. They may have had to do with like one of their classes, or may have held like religious significance. Greek documentation of unicorns like dates around 400 BCE by the historian. It's Ctesias. I don't know where to begin. Ctesias?
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I like that.
And it's really funny, like there's a lot of Greek like versions and descriptions of these unicorns, and they were supposed to like come from this far off land, like around Persia. And some of these descriptions, like historians look at now and they're like, this is probably an Indian rhinoceros. Like they're like, these are
That's
part
hilarious.
of. Or there was some Persian art of like depicting like a winged bull, and like the bull, I mean, the bull has two horns, but they were only putting like one in the relief, so they're like, oh, is this a fucking... But you're misinterpreting the art. And it's really interesting that the Greeks it wasn't part of any sort of mythology. They all thought it was part of natural history. They were like, this is a real thing that's happening. Their horns are said to be magical and healing as well. You're supposed to be able to drink from the horn and be fine. Also, the horn, so there is one of the ways that we get a Christ association is because the horn was supposed to like purify. So like there's like stories about like a unicorn like dipping its horn into like unclean water, cleansing it and purifying it so that other animals can drink from it. Like how Jesus cleansed us of our sins with his sacrifice, if you believe that shit. One of the other Christ associations that we get with the unicorn is during medieval times. This is some bullshit. Medieval times. Sorry, I just thought of this new reality show about like people losing their virginity to each other. And I just like hate the whole.
Yeah.
Oh.
What?
Oh, that's like it's. I think it's called "Are You My First" or something like that, and it's about people like.
I want to puke.
I didn't look into it at all. I was like, this is why our society is breaking down.
You know, that's a. Welcome to the end of the world, folks. This is the apocalypse. I'm your host, Louise.
Like, what? So, like, this whole, like, bullshit fascination with virginity that everybody has for forever. It hasn't gone away, and this is something that starts... I don't even know how long ago. For sure, the Romans had a thing about virginity, too, because you have the Vestal Virgin. So, this has been going on for thousands of fucking years. It's about controlling women.
Yeah, virgin culture is as old as the patriarchy.
Yeah, it's about controlling women. Anyway, so in medieval times, we get the idea that a virgin can catch a unicorn. because of their purity and their innocence or whatever.
Go
And this
virgins.
becomes an allegory for Jesus being born to the Virgin Mary.
Hey, you know what? It gives a new connotation to the word horse girl. Okay? She's a unicorn chaser. She's not only a horse girl.
Oh my god.
A unicorn chaser.
I love you so much.
She's the only one who can see them.
It's the only one that can see them. Or tame them. Like, there's,
Maybe
like,
that's
stories.
why she's so wild. Sorry.
I don't even want to tell this story anymore. Okay, so, it's, like, super fucked up. Like, there's stories of, like, a virgin sitting and the unicorn puts its head in her lap, and then she's, like, there's one story where it's, like, she's crying, and the unicorn can see that she's crying, and he's like, oh, shit, and the hunters get him. He's, like, he's, like, realizing her duplicity, like, too late, which also super sexist. I just like the sexism. Anyways, for something fun, the reason why I was like, if we're gonna break it up by animal, I want to pick the unicorn is because the unicorn is actually the national animal of Scotland. It started being used in heraldry, which is the coat of arms. I didn't know. I had to look it up. I was like, the fuck is heraldry? Coat of arms design and production in like the 15th century or something like that. It starts getting used in Scotland. But it's thought to be the natural enemy of the lion, and England has associations with the lion. So this is like adding an element I didn't know about.
It reminds me of the Chinese dragon to tiger thing.
Oh shit!
Yeah, there's like a very like big cultural association between the dragon and the tiger.
That is so funny.
That's cool.
That's sick. Yeah, so that's why the coat of arms, like the UK Royal Arms, is being supported by the English lion and the Scottish unicorn. If you like look up images of that, and we have associated rainbows with unicorns since the Victorian era.
That's gay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, actually, it leads perfectly into what I wrote about my thing.
That's why I finished. That's why that's my last note, is because I was gonna lead you right into it.
I'm blowing you kisses. So, like, unicorns for me, I'm gonna start with a character. So there's this character that I adore, and his name is Swiftwind. Okay, he is a unicorn in the show She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which, by the way,
need to watch this.
Is gay. This show is sapphic beyond and trans beyond my wildest imagination. Okay, so Swiftwind is Adora's noble steed. Okay, she turns him from a horse into a flying unicorn that can talk while trying to master her powers with her newfound sword. So it begins like it's like in the very beginning that she accidentally turns this horse into a unicorn. And it's so funny because she's like, they name him Horsey, like at first. So they're like, Horsey, because they were traveling with this horse. And then so she's like messing with the sword, does the thing. And then he's like, I'm Swiftwind. And she's like, you can talk? And he's like, yeah, you did this, Adora. And it's so funny because they think he's so cute. Well, so like, Adora had just switched sides to join the rebellion. And when she started tinkering with this sword and creating Swiftwind, but according to him, he's her confidant. Like, part of his character is that he is like her stallion. Like, he's supposed to be there for her. His loyalty to her is ultimately important. And so he kind of has this choice in the show where he's like, I kind of want to start my own horse-related rebellion to free the horses from the stables. So it's so funny because, yeah, it's hilarious because Adora's like training. She's like doing things with the princesses, so she doesn't really need him when he goes off in part of the show. But he comes back towards the end of the show and really commits to Adora and her mission in Etheria, which is to free Etheria. So like it's like his character arc is so interesting to me because he's like, I have my own horse shit to do. It's so funny. It's so funny, okay? But, okay, so, like, I was on the Wikipedia page, obviously, and I was, like, seeing it said, unicorns, queer icon. And I was
Yep.
like, no fucking way.
I stopped there. That was when I stopped on the Wikipedia page. I was like, Lou has got this one that takes us firmly into the modern era. Like, I will
Yeah,
write
right.
down
You're like, I'm done.
rainbows linked to Victorian rainbow. Like, I was like, Victorian era linked to rainbows. Okay, great. That's it. That's
Yeah.
our transition.
I guess it's related to the flag, like the pride flag, right?
Yeah.
But actually, so there's two things I want to bring up that I know of unicorns in queer culture. Okay, like just myself. These didn't come from the Wikipedia page. This came from my brain. First is a graphic that came out, published by the Trans Student Educational Resources Organization, which depicts a chunky little unicorn and a bunch of spectrums related to gender. And this is a teaching tool for kids and like young people. It's a graphic that attempts to explain to them what queerness is and how many things to consider under the umbrella of gender. Roughly, what is shown are modes of gender expression, gender identity, sex assigned at birth, physical attraction, and emotional attraction. Which are just like, the tool of it essentially is to kind of like situate yourself and like, how do you feel? Like, where do you think you align on the gender spectrum? And essentially, like, it's so funny because the idea of queer umbrella and the queer spectrum, and queer as a word that we use to label, generally speaking, the two-spirit LGBTQIA plus community, because that shit's a mouthful. We say queer. That's the reason I use queer, because that shit's a mouthful, even though respectfully I do understand why you would want to use two-spirit LGBTQIA plus. I do understand, but like, for me, when I was like thinking about this, like, there's this little like section in the Wikipedia article that said like traditional depictions of unicorns used to be male and then they started becoming feminized, like in more modern history or depictions. And I said, so obviously that is so trans of them to do. Unicorns, good for you. Like, they said, we're unhappy.
Good for you.
Like, let's do what we want. Yeah.
Let's be who
and
we
that's
are.
the whole point of gender expression and like the spectrum, right? Is like, do what you want, do what feels right, because when you honor those things, you're being honest with yourself, which means you can be honest in a relationship when you start engaging in sexual expression and gender expression with other people, especially partners, right? And I think that's the most important part of the graphic is like, kids like this is things that like straight people say. They're always like, why are like you so in our faces about queerness? And I'm like, have you ever seen a romance movie with straight people? Them shits be doing the craziest shit. Like,
Psychotic
there's nothing we're doing
things.
wrong. Actually, what we're doing is right. Like, by showing an alternate version of what love is, like, we are setting an example for people. But I think like the problem is that straight people strip us of those resources to teach kids. Like, hey, this is like why we do this. And so these graphics came out, I think I want to say like a little bit after like the Supreme Court legalization of gay marriage. Like, I think it was like after that kind of cultural era happened, like I think that was in 2015. So like the years after that, it was really like trying to teach sex ed in schools with queer representation. And so these graphics just got slapped into curriculum. And because the unicorn's not the only one. There's another one. Like another graphic that they put out that describes something else. I don't remember. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to say about unicorns is that there's also this like weird sexual connotation. It's used to describe when a couple is on the lookout for a unicorn for sexual purposes. So like you would run into this if you were on a dating app and you saw a profile that says we're looking for a unicorn, as a way to say we want to explore our sexuality with a third person. However, I don't think this kind of thing is actually a practice of non-monogamy. I think it's more about sexual exploration inside monogamy. And I find that is kind of like a cis hetero straight couples do this more often than actually like queer polyamorous like practice that. So like in terms of like that unicorn concept and sexual pleasure actually being like very queer, I think it's a little more cis hetero leaning, because I think it's like an adoption of like, it's infantilizing the situation to me. And Why couldn't you just then say you're swingers, or couldn't you just say that like there are so many other like actually historical terms you could say without being like
Looking for a
it's
third.
because of the queerness. Like, because the idea I think sometimes is that people will be like, once I have this third person in the marriage I'm unhappy with, then I've done my sexual expression with people of a different gender, which means that now that I'm done and I can close that chapter of my life and go back to the marriage I'm unhappy in. Does that make sense? Like,
Well,
that's the repetition I see.
Yeah. That like, I understand that, like, but no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, in terms of why would you stay in that marriage? Why does it have to be a closed chapter? Like, I mean, yes, what you said as your observation makes sense. That as an experience that people are living in their lives doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you would stay in a relationship you're unhappy in.
But I've seen that shit online. Like, I've seen that on dating apps. People being like, I want a unicorn. And I'm like, who do you think I am? I ain't no horsey.
That's weird.
It is weird. I think it's weird. I'm not kink shaming. I just think, like, not for me, I guess. Maybe I am. Yeah. Maybe I am. Whatever.
Well, I mean, it's like, don't take the symbol away from us. Like, I love that you were pointed out that it's inherently a trans symbol because they were originally depicted as masculine and now they're being more feminized. Like, that's like, and then I think the rainbow connection is real. Like, I feel like we can let queer people have the unicorn as a symbol. Like, I want that for it's magical. Like, that's a great association. Like, I love this. Like, let's keep fucking straight people, keep your shit. Like, just say you're looking for a third. Just say you're like, there's so many, say you're swingers. Like, there's so many other ways you could go about it. They're like, we're like, we're a unicorn. Like, like, don't co-opt.
Yeah. Co-opt to trap. Like, that's how it feels. It feels like you're co-opting a term to trap us.
Like,
because you're just going
to ditch times us after used that. To co-opt the virgins to trap the fucking unicorns. I guess it's getting back to its roots.
Interesting. Well, if you ever need a mythological hero by your side, call on Swiftwind. He's there.
That's an excellent horse name. I want to just take this opportunity. It's not a unicorn. It never made any sense to me that the name that horse in Lord of the Rings, Shadowfax, was a fucking white horse. Shadowfax is an excellent horse name. Okay? Great. It should be a black horse. Yeah. And I will die on this hill.
Yeah. Well, there might be some purity culture in there too. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh man, Lord of the Rings is super racist.
Well, with that, let's close out because today we have a limited amount of time for our episode. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of unhinged energy, a little AM energy. And before I get into the outro, I wanted to mention there is a live streamed previously webinar. So it's like recorded on YouTube and you can go watch it. And it is my thesis. It is my theory. It is my life's work. Okay? In a hour-long video. So if you want to see that, go to the Paranormal Research Association's YouTube. Find my topic on groove theory. Watch the video.
Link it on the episode.
Or I can link it on the episode. I can
also do that. You can go to their Paranormal Research because they are having a whole conference and I'm sure other things will be up there. But also just link it on the episode. It was so fun to watch. I didn't finish it because I was legit falling asleep and I was like, I need to actually be able to pay attention. But it was so fun to watch the beginning of it and be like, this is Paranormal Researcher and I was like, oh my god, my multi-hyphenate. Look at her. Look at her go.
Yay.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you for allowing me to plug that. And also,
of course.
Thank you, audience, for listening to this episode of Files from the Other Side. You can find us on Instagram at Files from the Other Side. Share this podcast if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe.
And we'll see you on the other side.